my poker peeps? So as y'all know, as in the title, we are on the live stream here at Jacksonville Best Bet. As you can see, we're arriving. As we go through this, I'm going to go ahead and show some hands. I'm going to go over a few. And then also, I'm going to let the commentary go on a couple of them. There's a big laydown. I'm going to go ahead and give my thought process, and then I'm going to show back what the commentators thought of it. But as you can see, we're walking in. First off, while I'm here, at the beginning, I do want to say there will be a bonus clip of, yes, the dealer gets kissed. So stay till the end to see that. Also, I would just like to take this time to thank Best Bet of Jacksonville for having me on the live stream. It was a lot of fun. They bought the first round for the table, which was very generous, was not something I was expecting, so that was really cool. And overall, it was just an amazing experience, and I would like to shout out everybody I got to play with. Just an amazing group of people, and I'm going to touch on a few of them as we get to play. As you can see, we're coming up to the table here, getting ready for the live stream. We're buying in this 2-2 deep stack. I bought in for 500, which was the max. Kind of showing y'all around first live stream. One thing I'll say, the cards they use are a little thicker, which that took a little bit to get used to. And then we're going to jump right in here in just a second. I do want to touch on the first hand is a bomb pot. And my history with bomb pots is absolutely atrocious, y'all. So with that being said, let's jump into the action.
I'm ready to show my hand. Ready to take a stand. Wait on a sign above. And I am ready. 'Cause I just live for the game.
What's up? How we doing? Hopefully you guys are having a good Thursday evening. We are back at it. Best Bet Live coming to you with a 2-2 no limit hold'em deep stack cash game. You got myself, Ryan, also known as Country, joined by Trey in the commentary booth tonight. What's going on, Trey? How you doing, man?
Doing pretty well tonight. I came up with a nickname that maybe the crowd would like.
Okay. All right. What we got?
Since I deal left-handed, I've been cooling some people off. I thought South Pole.
South Pole. All right.
Or Southpaw almost.
Yeah, I get it. That's pretty good.
Still pending. Still
pending. Yeah. I like the start though. We'll go with that. All right. So here we are getting things going here with our first hand of the night. It is a bomb pot. Now, quick disclaimer on this. This hand's going to be a little off. Unfortunately, in this hand, not all the information was gathered in the action tracker. So seat 9, who is Jeremy, he is in this hand, but it's not going to reflect in the action tracker because his information was not tracked. So
this is a $10 bomb pot and flop 6-3 deuce. We saw that Matt had our bet 15, seat 9 called Jeremy, and then Jimmy C on the button raises to 65, and then turn played check. And now the river 4 of hearts. Matt had a rivers of flush, bets 100.
Yeah, as you see again there, Jeremy is in the 9th seat, and he is in the hand, but unfortunately his information was not tracked at the time. So
and so what happens here is Matt Hatter bets 100, Jeremy raises to 300, and then Matt Hatter actually folds his flush correctly because Jeremy actually showed his ace deuce of hearts, so he flopped bottom pair top kicker with the nut flush draw, turn trips, and then rivered a flush bigger than Matt Hatter's flush.
Yeah, so
we're gonna the stats will be a little messed up, but we're gonna get the stacks adjusted in about 2 or 3 hands. So
right. Yeah, it's not
everything else is gonna be correct.
Yeah, it's not gonna take us too long to get a situation.
All right, so as you can see, the bomb pot, we're off to a terrible start. This hand comes up about 20 minutes later. I've not topped off yet because I was just trying to get the jitters away, and the bomb pot was definitely not the way to start off. So as you'll see here in just a second, I look down at pocket aces, and this definitely makes you feel better about the whole situation. So we go ahead and 3-bet over the open by D's to 15. And Jeremy, who was the one that beat me in the bomb pot, shout out to him, just a great dude. We ended up talking a little Gator football later, just a great guy. And we had a lot of laughs. So shout out to you, Jeremy. It was a pleasure playing with you. So Jeremy's going to go ahead and cold call. D's is going to come along. Dees was definitely mixing it up. There'll be hands later I'll talk about with Dees. Just a great dude also, and got a ton of respect for his game. So we go to a flop of Jack 3 deuce. At this point, I'm trying to already think about setting up to get all the money in on the turn, which I end up making a bigger size bet here. I bet 100. I'm not sure that's probably the best thing because really, besides a jack, there's really not much I can get value from. So looking back, this should definitely be a down bet, but in the moment, I'm trying to set up the shove on the turn, and that's why I went with 100, which was about 2/3 into the pot. I would have rather went about maybe 65. But anyways, Jeremy's going to go ahead and call with King Jack suited. Dees gets out of the way, and when the 4 of spades comes on, I'm going to think about it, but there's only one move at this point. I got less than a half size pot size bet, so I go ahead and eventually I'm going to go ahead and stick it in right here and go all in. And now Jeremy's going to go in the tank. He's definitely thinking probably about all the things. He's probably wondering if I'm a little tilted from the last time when he had the kind of a cooler hand with the higher flush. As he looks at me here, right here, I'm going to go ahead and tell y'all, I make a slick joke about the goofy hat, and you should never trust anybody in a goofy hat. And he kind of laughs, and then we kind of like chuckle back and forth. And you always want people to feel like they're having fun, and it's all right to give me a little action with the goofy hat. And sometimes the hat will get you action. So Jeremy goes deep in the tank trying to figure out if I'm just trying to bully him with maybe ace king or something, or could I possibly have the over pairs like I do here. So eventually he's going to think about it and go ahead and make the call here in just a second. And after he makes the call, we'll go to a river, hoping to fade a king, a jack. And let's see if we'll be able to do that. Like I said, he goes deep in the tank here. And eventually here in just a second, he's going to go ahead and make the call. And we're going to a river trying to fade the kings and the jacks of the world. And let's see if we can hold. And let's see what the people have to say in the commentary booth when I go ahead and scoop this hand here in just a second and see what their thoughts are. So we'll have a quick clip here about what they think of the whole situation.
So a nice hand for Mad Hatter there. Nice little double up for him. Increasing his budget for another hat potentially.
That's definitely at least 2 hats.
Yeah.
At least 2.
At least 2. Aaron B., good to see you.
All right, so with the aces hand, now we got the jitters kind of shook off and we're locked back in. And in this hand, I want to explain it a little bit. As you'll see, it's going to go ahead and fold around to me. I'm open to 10 with ace king. 10 to 15 was kind of the standard open at the table, so I stuck with it. It goes over to Smoke. From what I had seen from Smoke, he was very tight. So when he goes ahead and puts in the 3-bet here, which he puts into 40, at this point, I'm definitely putting him on the type of hand as you see. I'm expecting him to have jacks plus, maybe ace king like me. So I think about it. I'm really debating here if I should just go ahead and get it in. Here in a second, you'll see me glance over at his stack. But like I said, I'm really putting him on jacks plus. So I mean, it's a flip at best. And I really want to just see a flop because he could definitely have aces or kings here. So we're going to see a flop and go from there. So I take more of the passive route here and go ahead and make the call in position. If I was out of position, I would definitely be ripping it. But in position, we're going to see a flop. He's going to go ahead and check it over. And we're going to c-bet. And he's going to snap fold the jacks. And that's pretty much not much to that hand. All right, y'all. Spoiler alert. We're about to play a big one right here. And this hand, you will see a couple people are going to go ahead and just limp in. Butterfly Amber, who I would like to speak on. Very bubbly personality. Great for the game. Just a lot of fun. Just loved her to death. She was a great person. So shout out to her. She actually saw me at the cage when I was cashing out, made another comment about my hat. So eventually it folds over to us. We go ahead and open up to 25 with our queens, and we're going to go ahead and get BLT in there. And Amber's going to go ahead and call with her ace-10 suited. And of course, my boy Dees, he's got 7-6 suited. He's definitely going to get in there with a suited connector. So we flop the boat here. This is an amazing thing. Now, I go ahead and lead into the field right here for 25. The reason I'm doing this is I would do this with my complete range. And when Amber calls now, I know that she probably doesn't have, she could have an 8, but I mean, there's a lot of draws and stuff out there. So when the turn comes to 9, I'm going to go ahead and check back here, try to use a little deception. And we get the perfect card on the river. It is the king of hearts. And at this point, when Amber goes ahead and thinks about it, she's going to go ahead and lead out. And at this point, I think she has an 8 or has done hit the flush. So I go ahead and raise. She quickly goes all in. And unfortunately for her, we show her the bad news, pocket queens, and scoop a big pot here, stacking her. And she's going to go ahead and rebuy. But shout out to her for being such a bubbly personality and just great for the game. People like her make this game so much fun on nights like this. Unfortunately, she was on the wrong side of this cooler, but I just cannot say enough nice things about her and all the other table mates I played with. So let's jump into the next one. All right, just want to talk about this hand real quick. Pretty much my VPIP's pretty low, and I'm either getting rags or riches, to be honest with y'all. So when I get ace-9, it's folded around to me in the cutoff. I'm going to go ahead and open here. I'm just trying to show that I'm in there bouncing it around a little bit. I don't want them to think that I'm just playing the nuts, which I'm really not. I'm just card dead or actually getting amazing hands. So right here, I flop 2 overs and the gutter, and it's going to go ahead and check around to Jeremy, who we've done battled with twice, and he's going to go ahead and lead out. Now, when he goes ahead and makes the bet of 20 here, and it folds back to me, I mean, I guess I could let it go, but we're not playing that tight. And I don't mind giving Jeremy action because he gave me action with the aces. And that's one thing you got to understand. You got to give action back. So when the jack comes off, it ain't the best card. But, I mean, I do have the 9, so now I do have the double gutter. So when I check it over to Jeremy, Jeremy actually is going to go ahead and bet a little under half. He's going to bet 40 here. And at this point, like I said about the last street, I mean, he gave me action with when I had the aces. So I got to give the action back to my man and see if I can hit one of these miracle gutter cards for me. So I think about it for a minute, but of course I'm going to call and give the action back. And that's what I go ahead and do here. I make the call. And here in just a second, you'll see the turn or the river peels off the 8, pairing the board. So no, it makes no sense for me to have sets or 2 pairs, as the commentator said, but I mean, at this point, I'm going to check. Jeremy goes ahead and goes all in, and you'll see I snap fold. All right, y'all. So this hand right here, there's going to be a lot of discussions about, and we'll see what y'all think. But the button straddle's on. Tim opens up here to 15, and I look down at pocket queens, as you'll see here as the graphics catch up in just a second, and I'm going to go ahead and 3-bet to 55. So it's going to fold back to Tim. And if you watch my face here, in just a second when he gets back to him, he's going to go ahead and put in the 4-bet. Now, if you see my face, as soon as he starts to make this 4-bet, like alarm bells start to go off immediately. Like I said, you'll see here just in a second by my reaction. See right there. Definitely the alarm bells are going off, and now I'm thinking, yeah, this is not good. And I've never felt so sure about a fold here. I felt he had aces or kings. The thought going through my mind right now is this, and I'm going to be very honest with you. Am I really going to fold queens on stream and have to live with the result if I'm wrong? Luckily, I go ahead and tell him, show me a bluff. I show him the queens. He shows the kings. And later on, he talked to me about it. He could not believe I folded it. But this is one clip I'm going to show twice. So let's see what the commentators say as this hand plays out.
Fine, but you got to act in turn, buddy.
Only missed big? Well, if you missed the big, you have to miss. No, one small. No, because he was big without him and he bought it. He was big, and then he bought it and he wasn't anything. 15 from 17? I'll buy twice.
Oh my goodness, what a cooler here. Kings versus queens pre-flop.
We've seen this Netflix special before. Kings and queens.
And both in the first 2 positions, technically, since they're in the blinds and it's a button straddle situation. And Tim P looks like he's putting together a 4-bet. Pretty big 4-bet here. Over triple the 3-bet size. And Mad Hatter are going to make us another solid laydown tonight.
Wow.
He laid down the flush in the first hand and was correct with in the bomb pot. And didn't seem too tortured folding that queens to the 4-bet. So very solid play there.
see the queens that you didn't see them, but they were there.
Wow. Interesting. Hey, Hatter showing he's not afraid to let a premium hand go when he feels he's behind.
It's definitely a necessary thing in this game. People's 4-bet ranges can just get very polarized to the nutted type hands like queens plus ace king, even with ace king being often just called. Tim?
Flight 1 of our $300 100K guaranteed tournament is Thursday night, June 1st. The first of 4 premier tournaments that will be taking place at St. Augustine that first weekend. Orange Park the second weekend with a $200 50K guaranteed tournament. The third weekend featuring a single day event, $300 30K guarantee. And then, of course, the main event, $600 100K guarantee in the prize pool for that. Again, all the information on the website, bestbetjacks.com. So it looks like the pair of jacks are in the lead for Mad Hatter.
Yep, Tim P with the mystery hand, but also checking, so not too likely to have a hand that beats the ace jack either.
Mad Hatter's going to go ahead and bet 40. D's with the pocket eights in the muck. And now Tim here, who did check it, does have a mystery hand. And lets it go. Looks like he had a 9. Is that ace 9 that he had?
I think it was pocket nines.
Oh, pocket 9s, okay.
All right, y'all. These next 2 hands, I'm going to talk about D's. He was probably the player that, he was deeper like I was during pretty much the whole night, and I had a ton of respect for his game. My style and his style are definitely a little different. I'm more tight aggressive. He's more loose aggressive. So it's definitely a nice little dynamic between the two of us. Both of us definitely had mutual respect for each other, I do believe, and he was a lot of fun. And towards the end of the night, me and him got to talk more and more and more, and the more I got to talk to him, just a great guy out of Boston. Came down from Boston just to play in this stream, which is pretty cool. So as you can see here, the graphics are actually wrong. I actually have ace 6 of diamonds here. I open up. The flop comes queen 10 3 of diamonds. It's going to go ahead and check around. I got the backdoor diamonds, which is nice. And when the ace comes on the turn, it is the ace of spades bringing in the flush. Also, it brings in king jack. But I'm going to go ahead and lead out because this does hit my range with aces and stuff. And I do want to rep the aces. Now, I do bet real small here, trying to see if someone's trapping. And I do believe that D's right here senses that I'm kind of weak. So he goes ahead and makes the call with his pocket deuces. And when the 8 of diamonds rolls off, really the only hand it completes is jack 9 specifically. And he's going to go ahead and think about it. And I believe when he floated the turn, this was his plan. So he's going to go ahead and put out pretty much a half-size pot-size bet here. And I'm going to think about it for a second, but I got to look him up because he is definitely capable of bluffing, so I got to see it. But shout out to him for even trying to attempt this bluff. A lot of people won't. So we make a call there. Mad respect for him to try it. The pocket deuces. Man, I really like this dude's style. All right, so this hand also is going to be between me and D's. And like I said, his style, my style, playing together actually makes pretty fun times between both of us. Both of us have mutual respect for each other, I do believe, as I said before. And I really like his style, and you just really never know what he's doing. But I do know he knows pretty much what I'm playing, so he knows to try to manipulate that. So all that will go into effect in this hand as we get a couple of people to limp in here of the straddle of 4. So when I look down at pocket rockets again, yes, I am running good with the premiums. It seems like tonight is nothing but premiums or trash. So I go ahead and open up to 25. Amber's going to get out of the way, butterfly there. And as you can see, D's is coming in, and as soon as he makes the call, I'm really expecting him to have low cards because he understands that I'm going to have high cards. So this flop actually is a little scary to me, as crazy as that sounds. So I go ahead and bet out 25 to see where he's at. And he's on, when he thinks about it for a second and calls, now I know he's connected somehow with the board. He could have sets. He could have 2 pairs. The 4 of diamonds is just terrible. Now he could have a straight. He could have all kinds of stuff. It goes check, check. And now we go to the river, and I get extremely lucky here. When you look at the two hands, but it is an ace on the river, so now I have rivered a set of aces. And when he bets pretty big here, 75, I just go ahead and call. I believe I ain't getting called or getting any action from anything better. So I get super lucky there, and he definitely played a great hand to hit me, and I just got extremely lucky. And it was kind of funny because later on he made the comment, he's like, man, you just always got it, don't you? And against him, I ran very, very well. But shout out to you, D's. I hope you get to see this. And, man, it was a ton of fun to play with you. And I got a ton of respect for your game. And I hope you run it up there in Boston and beat them up, bro. All right, this is going to be the last hand I talk about in the stream. But there will be the bonus clip, so tune into that after I show the winnings at the end. But the bonus clip, yes, the dealer does get kissed, and it's a pretty amazing moment, and I was glad to see it. So in this hand, the main villain is going to be, well, there's going to be two, but the main villain is Jimmy. I ain't really talked about Jimmy, but he says towards the end of the stream, he had a side bet about having the highest VPIP on stream, which he definitely won and was a ton of action, but also a lot of fun. This dude right there, as you can see right now, I opened a 15 with kings. He's going to go ahead and flat with jack 5. D's is coming in there because he's got to get some revenge on me. But Jimmy was so much fun, and I know he's playing a lot of wide cards here. So when the board comes jack 7, 3, 1 heart, and Jimmy leads out, as I look at D's is really the one that's going to make the decision in this hand for me. If he would have called, I would have raised, but when he folds, I'm definitely just going to trap Jimmy here and let Jimmy go ahead and blast off and use his aggression. So when the Queen of Hearts comes off, I'm going to be honest with y'all, I didn't really care for this card because Queen Jack is definitely a hand. When he bets 30, the board's starting to get connected, so I go ahead and put in the raise to 100, and he's going to go ahead and ship it in. And he announces pretty quick he's got a pair and a draw. And I flip over the kings because, like I said, I mean, it's been a fun night, and maybe he can hit this one, but as this went pretty much the whole night, I fade the heart and scoop another big pot here. And just an amazing night. And before I wrap it up, I just want to say thanks to all the people that was at the table. Just a great, great group of people I played with. And shout out to all y'all. I hope y'all get to see this vlog. All right, so let's see the cumulative winnings, and let's see the bonus clip.
Stream at BMW, who, you know, what was it, 30 minutes of work, $281 profit?
Not so bad.
Yep, not too bad. Mad Hatter is going to finish up about 760 again. We're subtracting 300 from his cumulative winnings because there was a mess up with the graphics and everything. So
D's the big winner.
He is the big. Yep, D's is in fact the big winner. Smoke does finish up a little bit as well as Amber. She was able to work her way back up to finish relatively up. Jimmy C, BLT, and Jeremy stuck for tonight. But that's going to be it for tonight, guys. Appreciate you guys hanging out with us. Appreciate you guys watching. Again, we'll be back at it tomorrow for some 2-5. Jimmy has a pretty strong hand there. Ace King offsuit. With as aggressive as he's been the entire night, too.
Yeah, definitely expect him to 3-bet there, and he did.
Smoke's going to call. 7-5. Suited 1-gapper on the button. Does call. 7
What a
king,
flop.
oh, my gosh. Wow. 2 pair for Jimmy, and Smoke has trips.
Yeah. Pretty much guarantee Smoke's going to double up this hand.
It's got to be an interesting feeling getting that type of flop, and you're up against the most aggressive player at the table.
Yeah, with position, you should usually, on flops like this, you should usually just call. No matter what hand you hold, if you're going to continue.
And he is just going to call. Jack on the turn. That now, oh no, not quite, not yet.
Jimmy has to still feel pretty good about his ace-king here.
And Jimmy is going to rip all in.
Yeah, his total looks more like
about like
150, 160. Yeah.
And Smoke does make the call. And instead, we're going to have 7s full of jacks for Smoke.
Yep, rough hand for Jimmy there. He didn't do anything inherently incorrect there, just ran into a stronger hand.
Yep. Yep. That's definitely been his game plan the entire night. Just unfortunately just ran into it there.
Yeah, pretty rough spot.
Did he just?
I don't think he actually did it, but he did touch his head.
He did.
I don't think he actually kissed it.
But he did make the kiss sound.
He made the sound.
Doctor, get that checked out. ARP's expensive. You want some red?
That never happened anywhere with her.
That's true.
I'll be honest. I think Chase would have just preferred the tip.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Will be situated. See a few supporters in here for the Mad Hatter. I guess you guys know which one he'll be. It's pretty obvious.
Exactly.
Say hey to Matt in the YouTube chat, as well as Steve, Jose. Poker's in the chat as well. Is that the same poker god that we had on the live stream a few months ago? I'm kind of curious. Justin's in here as well, Andrew, and of course Steve and Miss Deb. Good to see you as well. Sean as well in the YouTube chat. Good to see you as well. Charles, good to see you in the Facebook chat. Hopefully you're doing well. Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate it.